invest with KM Stadio under the stock ticker SDO, July 2024. So guys, remember this is like investment school. So I'm showing you the 1, 2, 3s of doing your own research. This is what I follow when I'm looking at the company, if it's a good company or not. So firstly, I check if is it listed. If it's listed, then it means you can buy and sell the shares. And then I check for the stock performance from the past 5 years, 3 years, 1 year. Yeah. And then the business model. What is the business all about, and then who is it saving, and then how is it saving that customer. And then I also look at the client customer experience. Is the customer happy or unhappy? And then are they returning clients or are they new clients coming into the business? And then what does it cost the customer? And then management, is the management strong or weak? And then what shows if they are strong or weak? The experience, diversity in the board of directors, like females and color skin, like also black and white females. Is everybody represented there? And then is there a succession plan? So if the CEO steps down, who takes over? And then I also look at the risks threatening that company from the competitors. I check who's the competitor, how is the competitor performing relative to the company that I would want to invest in. And then I also check the financials. At the financials, I look for revenue, which is the sales. I check if is it increasing or is it decreasing, and then the reasons why. And then I also check the margin for each sale, and then I check the earnings for each share, and then the dividends, and if the company is paying dividends or not, and then the reasons why. And then I also check for future plans, because remember, when you're buying a company, you're not buying past performances. Past performances are very good, but then you need to check if what are they planning for the future. Are they still planning to grow or not? So yeah, let's do this for Stadio. So Stadio, is it listed? Yes, it's listed. And then the stock ticker is the SDO, which is the shortcut of checking for Stadio. Instead of writing the whole name, there's a stock ticker SDO, yes. So Stadio, it's a listed company on the JSE. You can buy the shares, and then it was unbundled from Curo, which Curo is a private education company which offers from grade 1 to grade 12. And Stadio, it was born from Curo, because after grade 12, where do these learners go? Because they have been in private education from grade 1 to grade 12. Then where do they go? Then Stadio, it was born from that. So Stadio, it was listed separately in 2017, being born from Curo. And then there was an excitement from the listing, because people knew the performance of Curo for the past years, decades, because Curo, it was started in 2003. So yeah, people believed in the company. They thought that they will make money. So it listed for almost like 7 Rand 30, and then the share price rallied up until 8 Rand 50. But people didn't check for what we've just spoken about previously, which is the revenue, and then dividends, and then the performance management and stuff. So that's why the share price, it went down over time. And then now the company is more mature. It has proven track record in tertiary education, not primary school and high school, in tertiary education. Remember, now we're speaking about Stadio, and it was standing on its own now, not separate from Curo. So the stock performance, last year the share price of Stadio, it was like 4 Rand 60, which was 2023. And then 3 years ago, like 2021, a share price, it was like, for one single share, it was 3 Rand 15. And then 5 years ago, it was almost 3 Rand 24 cents. So you can see the 3 years and 5 years, there was not that much difference, because remember 5 years ago it was, I think, almost at COVID time. 2019 it was like COVID time. But the company is performing well now recently, and then they started paying dividends in 2021 of 5 cents for a single share, and then they've been increasing 2022 2023, which is last year, they paid 10 cents a share. So the dividends have been increasing, and the stock price has also been increasing, because right now a single share of Stadio is like 5 rand 20 today at the close of the day. It was like 5 rand 20 a share. So it's been increasing from 5 years ago, from 3 rand 20 to 5.20. It's a good return, I believe. So the business model, what business is Stadio in? Is in the private education, higher education. It's a private higher education institute operating both in South Africa and Namibia. So remember, this is versus the government institutes from like UJ and VETS and stuff. UNISA, in UNISA. Because there's obviously a need for students to access higher education. So who does Stadio cater for? It caters for youth and professionals. So youth is being anyone that matriculates. They have that option to go to maybe Stadio if they don't qualify for a space via APS. Remember, public universities, I think they check like APS score. So if you don't qualify via your marks, but you have money to pay for private education, or if you prefer private education, then they can offer you an opportunity to study at Stadio. So it's a private higher education, and then for professionals as well, they can do courses there on Stadio whilst working, because it's online. They can attend classes like online. So like how are the students being served via distance learning and contact learning? So mostly, according to management of Stadio, they said most of their learners are between 18 years and 25 years. So meaning, from matric, and then and professionals as well. Excuse me. And then they cater for niche market, like with after it's that film and media school that is very popular in South Africa, and it has produced prominent film members. And then they also have a Millpark Business School, and then the third varsity, it's like Stadio, but then all of them together they called Stadio Multivarsity. So other courses they offer, it's from IT, design and fashion, law, policing, education, commerce, management. As you can see there, I wrote everything there, and humanities. So in private higher education, what do they offer? They offer small classes. And small classes, remember, if you have a smaller class, you can support like all your learners. So they can support them. They know, okay, this learner is good in this, but they are lacking here. How do we support them? How do we guide them to make sure that they pass and obtain their qualifications? So more students, more money, which explains the strategic acquisitions. Yes. At the beginning, Stadio, when it listed, it started buying other private education institutes, which with the aim of combining them to be under one name, which is Stadio Multivarsity. They did that a lot with Millpark, and then other private institutes like after. Now it falls under Stadio. So in terms of the clients, they have 86% of their learners are distant learners. So meaning they are doing their courses online directly. And then only like 14% they are attending like varsity at Stadio. Those are the contact learners that attend like classes and then have that thing of going to school every week or every day. Yeah. So yeah, that's the business model of Stadio. We need competes with like UNISA, and then Curo serves as like a feeder school because as I said, Stadio, it was born from Curo, and then Curo, maybe they have an incentive like if you are from Curo, then maybe get 5% off. I'm not sure about that. I'm just like making an example. If you are going to study at Stadio, so yeah, customer experience. I believe there is a high demand for education in South Africa, as we saw the last time we had FISMA's fall protests, meaning people wanted to go to varsity so bad that they wanted fees to be low so that they can start attending. They can attend because education is the key to success. So Stadio saw this gap because if you think about it, in South Africa, almost every year, about 400,000 to 500,000 learners write matric, but then only half of that number goes to attend varsity because of the government institutes have like budget constraints because they are getting their money from tax, and then they have limited infrastructure. There's only like limited number of varsities available in like the whole country, which doesn't accommodate the 400 to 500,000 that write matric every year. So Stadio caters for that, for those learners who have money and who can afford to pay, to go for higher education. So Stadio's response was to widen the access for qualifying students who can afford to pay and for private university fees. And then online, it's cheaper than contact learning. So if you are doing your course at Stadio, you have an option. Are you going to be a day-to-day scholar or you're going to do it online? So if you're doing it online, there's no need for a lecturer for you, so you pay less because you're not costing the school that much. So for online, it's mostly professionals who are working but they want to further their education, so they can do an online course there at Stadio. And then the contact learners are mostly people who want to attend classes. They want to go to school and have that whole varsity vibe of like, I went to Stadio at this campus, I was friends with so and so, I was friends with KM and stuff. So it costs more because now if you're attending online, there needs to be someone there physically, the building, and community. You are part of the community and the lifestyle, and then you can collaborate with other learners which you see like in person. So online, remember, you can study anytime and anywhere as long as you have like your Wi-Fi connections, and then you can go to their website and you do your thing there. So management, Dr. van der Merwe, this is the guy who started Curo, and then he also unbundled Stadio, listed Stadio separately. He was the CEO of Stadio up until he retired, like now in like 2020. This guy started Curo with a grade 4 class, aiming to get only 40 learners. So this guy was teaching, but then he wanted to start his own private school, and he was aiming to get like 40 learners. So ever since then, they've been growing. So this guy is the part of the management. He was the CEO of Curo, and then he stepped down to be a CEO of Stadio when Stadio listed separately, and then from then he resigned. He stepped down as the CEO, and then now he's just a non-executive board member. So he's there, but he's not like there day-to-day for day-to-day operations. So I believe like this guy has had a vision, and he has a strong management track record, because now it means if he's no longer involved day to day, there's somebody who is involved, and then that somebody, it means they are capable of running the institution. From Curo, they are capable. Of Stadio, they are still capable. There's a capable management team there. So yeah, I believe so. And then they've been growing number of institutions. Remember, I said they acquired a lot of private institutions to become under one banner, which is Stadio now. And they've been growing number of institutions. They've been growing number of learners under the Stadio, and then they also been growing revenue, like the money they receive for education. It's been growing year on year. And then succession is, like I said, Dr. van der Merwe. He stepped down, he retired in 2022 from the CEO. Now he's just a board member, non-executive board member, which is a sign of strong management. And it's also a good thing because there's a less key man risk. So meaning we know that even if this guy, something were to happen, maybe he moves overseas, or I don't know, God forbid, you know, your investment is still safe because there's a capable management, and he's just there as well to oversee everything there. And then management, it's diversified management, and it has all genders and all races, like they're represented in the board of Stadio. And then the risk threatening this company, it's like competitors like Advitech with Varsity School. Is it Varsity School? Yeah, I think it's Varsity School. Yeah, they are the competitor of the Stadio. It's like Pick and Pay and Shop, right? Kind of a thing. And but Advitech, it gives you, after studying with them, you get an accredited qualification. But then there's also YouTube, which is a competitor to Stadio, but this one, it doesn't have accreditation, so you can do a course there on YouTube, but then you won't get a certificate at the end. Yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, you won't get like a certificate. Like, as much as now you're listening to me on YouTube, I can teach you pointers about investing, but then you won't get like a certificate. I don't have a certificate as well. This is not like it's not like I'm a financial advisor or something. I'm just sharing my information that I know. So another risk is dropouts, because remember, if a learner drops out, it means maybe they're failing, and if they are failing, they're no longer paying, so it's a loss of income. And then obviously they will be unhappy, because, like, think about it, if you fail, you won't be happy with the school, but if you pass, you with flying colors, the reputation of the school, it gets enhanced within your circle of influence. You're like, KM went to Stadio, he studied this and this, and now he's working, he's a very successful guy. Then yeah, it gives them that reputation. So dropouts, it's a risk that they know of, and yeah, they try to minimize it as much as possible with supporting the learners. Yeah. And then the economy. These days, guys, everybody knows that things are expensive. So private education is also expensive. So compared to traditional universities, it's expensive, especially going day to day for day-to-day scholars. But if you are a professional who's working and doing a course online, it's cheaper to do your course via Stadio if you're going to do an online course than attending a traditional university where you go day to day. Yeah, so those are the risks. And in terms of financials, I looked at students. I look at number of students. They've been consistently growing the number of students since 2020 till now. They are consistently growing. Remember, 2019, it was like COVID-19, so the numbers went down a bit, and then everybody was like shocked and stuff. So yeah, since then, after COVID times, they've been consistently growing the number of students, leading to an increased revenue sales, and then leading to an increased earnings per share. So meaning each share earned more money because of a number of students has increased, and revenue also increased, and then they started paying dividends. Yeah, then they started paying dividends, I think 2020 until now, and they've been increasing their dividends as well. So meaning there's more profit sharing. If there's more profit sharing, it means like the companies, with the money that they're making, and then they're deciding to share it with investors. And then they have a steady margin, profit margin on each learner or campus, which is almost at 24%. So future plans for Stadio. Right now they are building a Durbanville campus, and then they just completed the campus at Centurion. I must visit that campus one day. They're building a Durbanville campus, which they will be funding via debt and from their own pockets, from their own profits. And then they are aiming to get 100,000 students. 100,000 students. Remember, I mentioned earlier on that almost every year, 400,000 learners in South Africa, they do matric, but then less than 200,000 of them attend varsity. So Stadio wants to capture some of those learners, and so that they can attend at Stadio. So they are aiming to get like 100,000 students in future, and right now they are sitting at like 46,000 students. For 2023 it was like 46,000 students, and then now they are working towards their accreditation for more courses, like engineering courses. They want accreditation for that. So remember guys, this is just KM's perspective on this. Please also help me to reach 100 subscribers on YouTube. So remember to subscribe, like, and share, please, and tell me your thoughts. If you know anybody that has attended a Stadio, or if you're attending a Stadio, tell me, what do you think about this? Are you guys learning anything from what I'm sharing? Just comment, say something, so that we can all learn together. So thank you.